In the deep jungles of Sri Lanka, there's a name that villagers only whisper after the sun goes down: Mahasona, the demon of the cemetery, the eater of flesh, the one who walks with the face of a corpse. Legend says Mahasona was once a mighty warrior, slain in a brutal duel. When his head was severed, it fused with a nearby corpse, creating a creature that was neither human nor spirit. To protect themselves, ancient ritualists carved masks depicting his twisted, horrifying face. Most of these masks were blessed to ward off the demon, but one was not. One was cursed. It was locked away for generations, waiting. This is the story of the mask that was found by mistake. In 2023, a folklore researcher named Devika Ranasinghe journeyed to the remote village of Mon. Her goal was to document the traditional demon masks of the region. But one elder, his hands trembling, gave her a stark warning. There is one mask you must never touch. The mask that remembers its owner. But Devika, driven by ambition and a thirst for discovery, insisted on seeing it. The elder just shook his head, his face pale with fear. We sealed it under the old shrine, let it sleep. That night, curiosity got the better of her. Devika, along with 2 local guides, broke into the abandoned shrine. The moment they stepped inside, the smell hit them, a heavy mix of old, decaying wood and rotting flowers. There, inside a stone box, lay the mask. It had crimson skin, fangs like a serpent, and eyes that spiraled into nothingness. Around the edges were dried, black stains that looked disturbingly fresh. The mask seemed to pulse with a life of its own. As Devika lifted it, the air in the shrine went completely still. That first night, back at her guest house, Devika heard a shuffling sound outside her door. Soft, dragging footsteps, like someone pulling a heavy, lifeless limb. She opened the door and checked the hallway. It was empty, but on the floor she saw a single muddy footprint. It wasn't human. It had 3 long toes and deep claw marks, and it was still dripping. Shaken, Devika went back to her room, only to find the mask lying on her bed. She froze. She knew for a fact she had locked it securely inside her backpack. Over the next few days, the presence grew stronger, more menacing. Devika started seeing a tall shadow crouching on the rooftops at dusk. The smell of burning meat would assault her senses at random times, with no apparent source. Sometimes, when she looked in the mirror, her reflection would shift, and for a split second, she'd see another face overlapping hers. The demons. Swarms of flies gathered at her windows, buzzing relentlessly. And then, she heard the whispers. A low, guttural voice, speaking in an ancient dialect, returned my face. The villagers began to shun her. Children would see her and run to hide behind their mothers. The old elder who had warned her now refused to even look in her direction. Mahasona follows you now, he said, his voice barely a whisper. You woke him. Desperate, Devika begged the elder for help. Reluctantly, he agreed to perform an exorcism at the local cremation grounds, the only place with enough spiritual power to confront a demon like Mahasona. At midnight, under a moonless sky, fire torches flickered violently in the wind. Devika sat inside a protective circle drawn with sacred ash, while priests chanted and drums pounded like a frantic heartbeat. The cursed mask was placed on the ground in front of her. As the chants grew louder and more intense, the mask began to shake. The very ground vibrated beneath them. From the darkness of the surrounding trees, they heard heavy, ragged breathing. A tall, hunched figure emerged from the shadows, moving like a stalking beast. It had the face of the mask. It was Mahasona. He moved toward the circle, tearing through the protective barrier as if it were made of paper. The priest screamed and scattered in terror. Only the old elder remained, his face a mask of pure horror. Do not put it on, he screamed at Devika. But she felt an irresistible pull, a magnetic force drawing her to the mask. It was calling to her, begging to be warned. Mahasona let out a deafening roar that shook the entire jungle, his voice echoing through the night. Give it back. Trembling, her body no longer her own, Devika lifted the mask. When the villagers dared to return at sunrise, the cremation ground was eerily silent. The priests were found unconscious. The elder was gone, vanished without a trace. The trees around the ritual site were scorched black in a perfect, unnatural spiral, and in the very center of the circle sat Devika. She was completely motionless. She was wearing the mask. Her body was still, her face frozen behind the demon's terrifying expression. But the story doesn't end there. Every morning since that day, the villagers report the same strange thing. The mask on Devika's face changes its position. Sometimes it faces the jungle, sometimes it faces the village, and sometimes it faces a specific house. And soon after, someone inside falls gravely ill. And at night, people swear they hear footsteps outside their doors. Slow, dragging, hungry, they say. Mahasona walks again, wearing the face that Devika Ranasinghe should never ever have touched.